And good afternoon once again. Welcome to the new defence here in Hawley, home of Hawley Town, also home of Crawley Wasps ladies. And the ladies currently in 7th today, taking on MK Dons women, who are languishing in 13th place in the bottom two in the table today. Of course, Crawley Wasps unbeaten at home. The teams the subs start to make their way out onto the pitch. So we'll go through the teams. I think we start with the home team. We'll start with the visitors first, I think, if that's okay. So we're going with MK Dons first of all, who make 4 changes to the team beaten against Oxford United. So 2 changes in defence. Sophia Stovold and Hannah Warren come into the back 4 at the cost of Slovakian speedster Dominika Necheva and Sasha Newsom, who does drop to the bench today, so we'll give you the subs in a minute. Also into attack today gets a start Amy Gooderham, and also it's a welcome return into midfield for Rhiann Rush. So Charlie Bill lines up his team as follows: Amy Martin in goal, a back 4, Hannah Warren will go on the left side of the defence, Kerry Newman on the right, with Laura Bright, otherwise known as LB, captaining the side alongside former Tottenham under-23 defender Sophia Stovold. Familiar 3 back in midfield for Dons this afternoon: Vicky Neal, Rhiann Rush, and obviously they'll be backed up by distributor and former Charlton Athletics star and all-round set-piece taker for the Dons, Nicole Pepper. Now, very attacking 3. Amy Goodwin will think will go through the middle with Molly Cooper and Jade Bell. Now Cooper, Wasps won't need reminding, scored the only goal of the corresponding fixture here last season. Of course, Wasps will put that right, but as I said, they are unbeaten at home. 2 wins out of 2 today for this season for the Wasps. On the bench for Dons, they do have Zoe Boot, Amy McLean, Sasha Newsom, Shez Albert and Trisha Gould. And now let's have a look at the Wasps lineup, and they make 3 changes from the side that lost 3-1 on the road at Bridgewater last time out. And so it does mean no place in the starting lineup today for Florence Jackson, Aisha Swaby or Natasha Stevens, but all 3 are on the bench, so if Wasps need them later. So those players coming in today are Imogen Lancaster, Yara Denny and Emma Pluver. Who scored a couple of goals this season and has made one, so this is quite useful. And so Wasps in the yellow shirts, black shorts with yellow and black socks. MK Dons in a familiar all-white strip today. So let's have a look at Wasps again. So in goal will be Megan Lynch. I think probably a back 4 of Hope Nash, Sakara Goodall, Ellie Russell and Rachel Palmer. Amy Cole captains the side in the middle and midfield alongside the likes of Nicola Gibson and of course Imogen Lancaster. Up front, of course, is the well-known striker in women's circles, former Charlton and Tottenham striker Nikita Winnett, amongst other clubs. Vastly experienced player, always deadly up front, and she'll be joined in attack today by Niara Denny and of course Emma Pluwer. On the bench today for the Wasps are Aisha Swarby, Natasha Stevens, Charlotte Owen, Holly Talbot Smith and Florence Jackson. The referee today, what we can read from the team sheet, it was hieroglyphics time for me, is Lou Saunders, and her assistants are Steve Hart and Paul Saville. So we are moments away from kickoff here at the new defence. And of course, for those of you tuning in, and also those of you joining in alongside our partnership broadcast with CW Sport Radio today, we do have a half-time shout-out slot. So if you'd like a little mention on the airwaves or on the stream today, drop me a tweet at Motty's Mike, MOTTYSMIC, and I'll do the needful at half-time. So I hope you are picking this up loud and clear from wherever you are today. And I hope, those of you, once again, thank you for tuning in on the live stream. And just doing a few little minor movements on our little broadcast area. As I say, but I'm not quite being suspended from a scaffold today. I'm on top of one, so hope you are getting us okay. Okay, Wasps now in their huddle before kickoff. As I said, 2 wins from 2 matches played over defence this season. Both defeats have come away from the new defence. Dons, on the other hand, just 1 point to show from the first 3 games, and that was a 1-1 draw against Bridgewater, who did have a player sent off on the day. And now referee Lou Saunders calls both captains together. Of course, Naomi Cole for the Wasps, Laura Bright for the Dons. And this is just a chance to go through the last minute instructions, expectations of a referee. It's the usual thing, play nice, no rabbit punches, and nothing naughty. And we'll just have the toss up now to see who gets a kick-off and choice of ends to start with. I'll say the weather here, it is absolutely baking here in Surrey today. And here's a change of ends. So Wasps will be attacking from left to right as you're watching, and so we're actually located on the halfway line opposite the clubhouse and the main stand, and there's quite a few people in the play upstairs, I think, keeping in the shade. The Dons with the choice, and so it's of course just behind the Dons to our right hand side is well, we can describe this basically the rugby field. As the referee now says to the Dons, come on, you've had a long enough in your huddle, let's get this underway. We are a few minutes past the advertiser kick-off.
Gary, we ready? Come on.
And of course we are also located quite close to the dugout, so you probably hear quite a bit from the dugouts as well. We've got the MK Dons bench to our left, and of course Wasps to our right. The referee gets ready, checking both ends, so we are about to get underway, and we are at last underway on this sunny Sunday afternoon. Crawley Wasps taking on MK Dons. Pepper on the ball, just a little touch there for Goodham. Gets a start today, the Dons striker. First start this season for Amy Goodham. Dons sporting a new kit this season, and gone are the gold trim numbers, and names hard to find. Now it's a commentator's heaven. As Stovald on the ball plays it out to the right hand side of the Dons defence. You've got to be careful there. Nikita Winner is a speedster, won't need much of an opportunity to pounce on the Dons today. Ball into touch on the far side. Throwing for the visitors, which Hannah Warren will take. Warren not sure who to go for, just plays it up the line. A little touch there for Vicky Neal, but she's beaten to the ball. It's sent back into touch. And Warren has to scamper back to do it all over again, deja vu. Ball launched in. Now played into the penalty area, flick on header. Poor Molly Cooper lacking any sort of power though, not going to trouble Megan Lynch. He's racked up a couple of clean sheets this season, is quite useful. The ball played out of defence now. Wasps up the left hand side. That towards Plua, and now the break on now. As Plua plays it into the middle. A turn for Winner, and that one just a fractionally wide. Amy Martin's goal. A little warning there for MK Dons. The pace possessed by Wasps breaking forward, and again we'll see that Emma Plua on that left wing is dangerous. Of course, Naomi Cole into midfield is strong again. You can never understate the danger posed by Nikita Winner. But now Dons in possession. Goodham in her own half. Little short ball there, very nearly caused trouble for Rush, but here's Jay Bell, the player known as Turbos around MK circles, the former Cambridge United winger. The Wasps on ball, nearly caught in possession, they've riddled that one out, and now here's Gibson in midfield, over the halfway line. Stevens just couldn't quite control it, but Wasps get it back again with Nash. And then the fullback showing the short pass, and Nicole Pepper there Let's get into a little bit of a tangle. Throwing just under our commentary position. Launched up the right hand side, Ryan Ashton headed into touch. Another Wasps throw in. Hope Nash encouraging the teammates, come forward, give me some options.
Do toes in.
Win it with the cross, Callum's off that.
Set it up, organise.
Stovehold. I say rather leisurely turn to take this, but of course I could say it's absolutely baking. It is hot. And Rachel Palmer could be easily forgiven for taking the time here with this corner. And swinging from the right hand side. Headed up there by Vicky Neal, only onto the edge of the penalty area. Cole though, spreading it back to support. Here's Goodall up from the back for Wasps. Don's bench already animated. It's Wasps again on the prowl with Cole. The referee Lou Saunders indicates it's a goal kick. The Dons. And we're coming up to nearly 5 minutes played here at the new defence. Crawley Wasps 0, MK Dons women 0. That's Crawley Wasps ladies to you and me. It's 7th versus 13th today. The pitch looking in good condition, but I say the weather is going to be a big leveller today. It is hot. I wouldn't be surprised if there's water breaks in here somewhere today. A free kick to the Wasps. About 10-12 yards out from the left-hand corner of Don's penalty area. And Cole, the captain's going to swing this one in. Gould all up from the back. Gibson's in the area as well. There's Lancaster. You see that Stevens has actually started, we've just been advised. It's a late change. Ball comes in and Martin has gone down early, and that's a real mix up at the back for Dons. And Wasps have taken the lead, but we have a problem. I say MK Dons have got a twofold problem. Not only have they just conceded the opening goal, which we'll try and clarify exactly who scored that amongst that melee, but more importantly, Laura Bright is struggling. I realise it's Nicola Gibson on the score sheet, so Gibson with the opener. Only 7 minutes in. Crawley Wasps 1, MK Dons women 0. Not the start that Charlie Bill would have wanted, but perfect start for the Wasps. Seeking. And Kim Stibbins there making the hunt. They want to make it, I think 3 wins out of 3. Lynch with a rollout into own penalty area, being brought out now by Ellie Russell. Nice little release onto this near side. So I hope Nash just trying to tease Goodrum out of position here. A flick off of Stevens out.
First contact!
Yes, that's close to me. Go back.
Okay, Newman. Over the halfway line for Dons now. A little help on there for Jay Bell. Allowing Warren to come up from the back now. And dispossessed. Chance here, Wasps on the counter-attack coming forward, and the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that Niara Denny hasn't started. I think that's a very, very late change that we weren't even made aware of. So Natasha Stevens has started in place of Denny. I can only imagine something might have happened during that warm-up. Apologies there. The Crawley Wasps ladies leading by a 1-0. Nicola Gibson on 7 minutes. Throw into the penalty to Lancaster, trying to get a shot off in the turn. Now teeing up Cole. Ball played in, a little wide of the mark.
Good first step from you though, Nick, to go and squash it.
So Don's opting for the short goal kick, which is can be a mixed blessing. Trying to play our defence, but they're getting caught deep in possession. And Laura Bright diving in on Nikita Winner. And Saunders, Lou Saunders, the referee, beg your pardon, is having a word with the MK Dons captain. Obviously Laura Bright just sent away with a verbal warning. There's another bit of danger here for the visitors. Naomi Cole, about 25, I think 30 yards and low. Ball into the penalty area, bit of an awkward one. Not fully cleared, the shot powered in. From Imogen Lancaster. Emily Lancaster there. Not able to trouble Amy Martin on that occasion. Don's under pressure.
Get around it.
Trading by a 1-0. 7 minutes played at the new defence in Hawley. Now Winnett bursting through the middle. The flag up on this near side. Halts the striker's progress. Winnett on the score sheet just once this season so far. Wasps leading goal scorer, of course, Naomi Cole. Captain leading by example. It's Nicola Gibson, whose goal is her first of the season today, has given her side the lead. Now as Winnett pushing again, but again coming back from an offside position. Dons with a free kick here. And so never mind him being in sunny Surrey today, it's very much sweltering Surrey today. And Surrey Sussex borders, of course. Flick up there, one in the air by Warren, can't bring it under control. Stovall can't bring it under control. But here's Bell trying to wrestle the mantle for the Dons, trying to kick-start their start. So they're only 1 point from 3. They're in the bottom 2 today. 13th out of 14. Of course, the bottom 4 go down this season. Here's Bright playing the ball out of defence over the halfway line. Dons haven't done that for a little while. And how's Newman? Short pass there to Cooper. His goal last season here was the difference between two sides, and here's Cooper. The wins a corner for the Dons, and here's their first chance to try and test Megan Lynch. Nicole Pepper, as we said in our build-up, going through the teams, is Dons is a set-piece taker. Very much when it comes to the corners, it's Pepper takes them all day long. This one from the left-hand side. You can see Bright coming up from the backhand, Stovold as well. So both Don's fullbacks left to keep an eye on Nikita Winnett. Now Pepper, left arm held aloft, delivers this one in, goes deep, out to the far post. Now Don's trying to capitalise and win another corner. So Molly Cooper rather helpfully sends it out to the other flank this time. Pepper with a trot on. And Jay Bell just loitering outside the D on the edge of the penalty area for MK Dons. A whole gaggle of players. Not as much a conga line as I'd say a complete roadblock there on the edge of the 6-yard box. Now they sort of break as this is delivered in. This corner goes deep. Laura Bright got under that one and couldn't direct it. Little shout there of anxiety and frustration, I think, from the skipper with the Dons. It's a goal kick to the Wasps. Megan Lynch steers us on out to the left side of the defence. Palmer up the left. Nice long ball here as a Wasp chase on this one. Stowell gets their back covers for Dons. Just steers it into touch in front of the clubhouse and the changing room side. A nice little bit of covering there for the fans. Everyone trying to make the most of the shade this afternoon. There's no hiding place out on the pitch, and especially from the weather and especially from the scoreline at a Dons perspective today. Wasps leading from that 7th minute strike. A little mix-up, little melee in the penalty area. Amy Martin, I think, sort of maybe went down a little bit early and got wrong-footed and couldn't get back up. And the ball just poked home through a gaggle of players from Gibson. Made the opportunity. Now the flick on. Throwing on this near side. Dons on the left with Newman. To send it a little bit more centrally in the left side of that midfield. There's Cooper holding a foot in there, plays the ball out into the penalty area, just trying to steer it over the top of Jade Bell.
Colin, let her have it. Let her have it. Let her have it. This one here. Let her have it.
Of course, Dons with only 3 goals scored this season. Leading scorer is Molly Cooper. So 3 goals scored against Crawley have scored 7 this season. Well, 8 as of today. Russell in the penalty area, gets it out into midfield now. The ball allowed to run free. They just run past further. Nash caught with a challenge though from Rush. And yardage, my favourite topic, being picked up there when you try and nick your free kicks and your throws too far forward. The refs are so on it these days. But here's Stevens on the left wing, midway through the Dons half. Over a quarter of an hour played out of the new defence. Crawley Wasps Ladies 1, MK Dons Women 0.
Rotates, rolls off you. Good, Kerry.
Another corner forced there by Crawley. And Rachel Palmer with another corner on this right hand side. The left back, and she's just got Natasha Stevens there, just on the edge of the penalty area. I think this one might be just going a little bit deeper. Now curled in. Flicks out now, Plura on the loose ball. Trying to get the shot off. It's been shadowed there by Cooper. Goes for the goal. And takes a little deflection there. Amy Martin managed to get something on that. And turns it behind for another corner.
Edges, Nick, if you go.
Crawley again. It's cleared. Now Bell back defending, but again Wasp in possession. Delivery back into that penalty area.
Step to it, get it out, Kerry, you can step it.
Although Wasp has been forced back briefly there, still in possession.
Don't be beaten.
Little trick there from the scorer Gibson. Now out to Stevens, trying to get in behind Newman. Little handoff there, a little tussle. And the referee judging free kick, a little bit closer contact as Kerry Newman would have wanted on that instant.
Roll her, just roll her.
Bright playing the ball across the Dons penalty area now. Stovold into midfield. Little chance, a little touch there for Rush. Takes it to the right byline, then forced backwards though. To Stovold, quickly closed down there by Nikita Winnett. The clearance though. Both former Tottenham players, of course. Stovold, the former under-23s defender, who signed for Dons this season. Of course, Nikita Winnett. Not her first season here. Very experienced player. Always a handful for any defence.
Be on the front foot! Be ready to step!
The ball just raking loose in midfield, but again, Wasps have dominated proceedings so far. Now Stevens, being closed down there by Vicky Neal. Dons on the back foot.
Get around it, next one.
Stevens on the halfway line, played it into the centre. Little flick on there from Winnett and now runs onto the ball from Nash. Martin comes off the line and the keeper as well to get in the way of that one. I thought for a minute, but Nikita Winnett had got the beat in there of Amy Martin. The move breaks down for Don's clearance into touch on the far side. Wasps with the throw-in. Launched up that left flank, and going nearly into the corner. Another throw-in for Crawley for the host. Short one, just to hold up here. Ball play back into the penalty area, headed clear by Laura Bright, but header barely making it out of the penalty area. Warren trying to clear the fullback. Now Bell back in, but they can't hold on to the ball here. Dons is just not sticking to the feet today. And Wasps in determined fashion here. Now a Lancaster, brought down there by Rush. And this could be a talking to. It's not the first foul that Ryan Rush has conceded in his first half. It's over 20 minutes played. Avenue defence, Crawley Wasps ladies leading by a goal to nil against MK Dons women. That wind just picking up a bit as well. This is very dangerous for Dons. Palmer, central for the free kick, now goes in. Russell's just over the crossbar. Oh, that was close, not a million miles away. And giving their side a 2-goal lead. Dons trying to play out of defence, and Admirable trying to play up instead of just going the route one and long ball, but they are putting themselves under pressure against Crawley Wasps sides who are adopting a very high press, meaning they are really pushing high and closing down Dons at every opportunity and not really letting them getting the ball out of their own half, let alone out of their penalty area. Rush back into the defence to Bright, back towards the keeper. And touch there, Amy Martin right-footed. Stovold's waiting for it. And ball into midfield. Into the centre circle now, over the halfway line, strides Rush. Lovely ball playing behind the back of the defence, out wide to the left-hand side. Here comes Amy Goodrum. Can't keep it in play though. Throwing to the Wasps again. Hope Nash. Stevens just trying to get in front of Goodrum. Controls the ball. Now the Nash. It's a bit of deflection, so it's not fully cleared. Here's Cole, back to Stevens on that. Little miss kick there. That's probably the first sort of a little error, if any, that Wasps have made in these first 23 or so minutes. There's Newman skipping over the challenger. Stevens. There's still Newman. The ball played into the penalty area. Cannons off Russell for a corner.
Exactly that one. If you receive, it doesn't have to go there. Just play round. Once they shuffle, just play round. Right.
And Don's management team just offering that advice. Pepper from the left-hand side again. And chipped in, headed back across the face of goal by Cooper. Little flick on there, time very from Gooderham. All played into cleared, but into touch on this near side. And frustration there. We say Megan Lynch. So they can't leave the line, you can't leave the goal exposed. They're just having a word with the defence there.
Charlie, give me half a yard, mate. Half a yard. Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Neil with the ball into the penalty area, but again cleared. Cole up towards the winner. He's coming forward, and the key to win it is wriggled free out of this right side. We were calling for it in the middle. The cross comes in, cleared by Bright. But now on a follow-up by Natasha Stevens, linking up with Winnet on the right-hand side again. Winnet cuts into the byline, plays that in.
Hold it, Molly, hold it.
About same cross so from Winnet, it was cleared, but Wasps aren't letting Dons have the ball for too long. Goes up the other end of the pitch to Megan Lynch, plays it into defensive Russell, now to Nash, getting some space, taking the ball out of the centre, so taking it wide, takes away a bit of the threat that Dons do pose the Wasps. There's Ryan Rush in determined mode, trying to force a mistake out of Sakara Goodall at the back with the ball. Doesn't go into touch, and Charlie Bill, the Dons manager, going, look, it's not going into touch, guys, eyes on the ball. And Dons just losing a little bit of focus and concentration here. In the face of, as I say, a very determined and very attack-minded Crawley Wasps today. So in the corresponding fixture last season, here, Molly Cooper's goal for Dons was the only goal of the game. And for those that played in that game last season, that could still be fresh. But the Wasps looking to make it 3 out of 3 wins at home this season. Again, in comes Winnet again. The keeper lows down at their feet of a strike up there again. The offside flag. And that's the third time Winnet's been caught. And the keeper Winnet has been caught offside.
Let's go. Come on.
Get in, let's go.
And we are have there is obviously with the heat, and say it's in excess of 23 degrees this afternoon here at Hawley, which does mean it's drinkies time, and water being the order of the day, and a few sports drinks as well. Those that want something a little bit stronger are going to have to wait till full time, though you could hardly blame the Dons for wanting a drop of the strong stuff right now after the start in the first 7 minutes, trailing by a goal to nil. They are very much under the cosh and haven't really got into gear. Have posed the odd little moment of frustration or worry for Megan Lynch, but the scoreline still reads Crawley Wasps ladies leading by a goal to nil. That is all you really need to know at the moment. But Wasps, I say, unlucky not to go at least a couple of goals up today in the first few minutes in the first half. And once again, thank you for those of you listening in, and of course those of you on following the live stream as well. Good to have you on board. And obviously with that, with the drinks breaks being on here, and interesting that say the contrast between the two benches right now, I say is quite a lot casual. There are instructions being handed out to some of the players on the Wasps team. However, the mood in the camp there is one of, let's say, composure, control. The Dons, Charlie Bill is being quite vocal. And he's trying to, say, look, you're sitting off players, you've got to keep going, you've got to get at them, and more importantly, focus and concentration. So we're now about to resume the first half. Of course, Dons will have, I say, the action will resume, of course, from the point of that free kick being awarded for the offside. It's been such an E on the go, but Martin with a long ball into Crawley territory. Picked up there by Cole. It's a good all, but Latch there, and there's Jay Bell, who's kept on the feet. Advantage being played, ball into the penalty area. Cross comes in, turn back, of course. Bell did well to keep on her feet there, and still on the ball. Cross comes back in, straight to the keeper, straight to Megan Lynch. A little let off at the back there, and Crawley Wasps nearly get themselves in a bit of a 2-8 there.
Contact! Contact!
Ball over the halfway line, one in the air by Newman. And Goodwin again, just stretching. Couldn't keep that in play. So I hope Nash quite happy to have this throw in. Now to Lancaster, and Don sitting off the midfielder here. Again to the danger player. The key to win it, the crosser playing over the top and nearly exposing Anna Warren there. There's Emma Pluer. With a shot blocked. Now Don's break. The ball through the centre over the halfway line to Molly Cooper. Cooper now spotting a run of Bell, trying to play the ball out wide. It's a bit narrower than she was intending. But here's a chance in that Hannah Warren, the full-back on the right-hand side, attacking and trying to force an error out of Goodall at the back, but Goodall did well, get a body between the player and the ball, sees it into touch. Goal kick to the Wasps, leading by a goal to nil. Nicola Gibson on 7 minutes, capitalising on a little bit of a mix-up, a little bit of a goal line scramble. Don's goal mouth. There's Newman diving in and being a bit more forceful now. Dons do need to ramp this up, because the Wasps very much have been running rule and running right over them in the first half. Over half an hour played here at the new defence, home of Hawley Town. And of course, it's the Wasps' home now as well. Pepper for MK Dons. Goes into the centre. Ball just bouncing up and skipping off Jay Bell. Runs through the challenge and good work there from Bell. Just couldn't quite thread that ball past Hope Nash. So Stogold now. Here's up Warren. Sends it back to the keeper. Winnet comes forward, just trying to close down Amy Martin. Little stretch there. Ball over the halfway line. Picked up by Gibson. Both Pepper and Lancaster there, you could felt that impact those two going in. And a little move there, and Vicky Neal trying to extricate herself there from Ellie Russell. Nearly a game of Twister being played there. It's far too hot for that. And apologies if you might be hearing anything. We are quite close to the action, and so you will hear anything in and around the pitch. But here's that Bell to rush with a shot in, but it's rather tame, straight at the keeper. And it's probably the easiest take Megan Lynch will have for a while. Ball spinning as it's launched out of her gloves. Now Stovall gets there first, knocks it into touch, and well, it's did take a little deflection. Joshua just come off with that.
Let's go, play! Play round, play round!
Right at the back, for Dons, over the halfway line to Vicky Neal, through the centre now. Pepper carries the ball forward and goes for goal, tries to chip the keeper, but it's off target without effort. It's another goal kick. Lynch will take this from the left side of the box. As immediately falls straight to Jay Bell. The Don's letting this loose, and now Newman gets it first touch a bit heavy, showing too much of the ball there. That's allowing that Wasps to come forward again over the halfway line on this near side. And Natasha Stevens. Out to Nash. And again, there's a ball played back to Lynch. Don's sitting off though. Palmer, loose ball bouncing around midfield. And Dons are just sitting back too much, and I know there is a lot to be said for not diving in, but maybe sitting back a bit too much here, and very nearly falling 2-0 down there. Shot in there from the left hand side, got whistling straight across the face of the goal, and that is a big let off for MK Dons. About 11 minutes or so to go of the first half. Crawley Wasps ladies leading by the goal to 0, but could have had another couple easily, and that is the danger for Dons again. Wasps with that unbeaten record at home, 2 wins from 2 games played. Also, with both their 2 defeats this season have come on the road. And a shout out over. The Dons appealing for handball there, but not given. And so neither the assistant or the referee felt that was the case. The Dons having some defending to do here. Another corner on this left hand side, and these corners have been a bit of a problem. As Rachel Palmer, he's probably going to leave this, I think. Captain Cole, that's Naomi Cole. We're going to have a crack at this one. As Goodall comes up from the back from central defence, just standing off at just to the left of that penalty area. Short corner, Lancaster. Back out the Cole. Cross driven in, it's charged down, but now the follow up. Don's now clear the lines, and at the moment it is very much anywhere will do. And it still was in play right up till then. In the last 10 minutes, just a 1-goal deficit for Dons to overturn at the moment, but as I say, it was said before in the first half, Wasps have had chances and could easily beat another couple of goals ahead. And that is the danger from a visiting side's perspective. The Wasps are relentless, the pressure is there, but with all the chances they have had, they've only got it in the back of the net the once.
Not too deep, Ames, not too deep, just narrower.
Amy Goodrum just kind of confirming or clarifying, but needs to drop in a little bit more. Closing into the centre a little bit more, but she's just mindful of the fact that now she's pushing forward. Another free kick.
Hold your line!
Turn the wall for Dons.
Hold your line!
Cooper and Warren on the wall. As Cole will take this midway through the Dons half. And he's going to go for this one and gets under it and lost that one wide of the mark. Goal kick MK Dons. And Pepper gets the ball deep, launches it out of the penalty area, and now played straight to the feet of Jay Bell. Here's Bell, sitting rather deep, and Bell does have an explosive turn of pace and hasn't really been able to be let loose so far this first half, but launches the ball up the wing, just goes into touch just ahead of the rampaging Anna Warren. Been given licence to break out of that fullback's position. And a couple of the Don subs just having a little warm up there. Trisha Gould and fullback Zoe Boot. Here's Rush, ball into the penalty area now for Cooper. The shot just takes a little deflection though off Ellie Russell. Corner to the Dons. Stowell and Bright, both of Don's centre halves come up from their defence again. Pepper on the right hand side. Rush is actually on the goal line there, and so is I think Nicky Neal as well. As Neal comes in, makes a little late run. Ball flicks in the air now, just poked clear by the Wasps, but there will be Dons who will get it loose on that far side. Now Pepper. And charged down and couldn't cross that back in. And that is good closing, that's good work there, good covering work there from Nikita Winnett. Throw midway through Crawley's half. That's a Bell. It's back onto the halfway line. As Dons go again, trying to explore their way down this left hand side with Kerry Newman. Now with Goodrum. Wriggling through and very nearly picking the lock there through Hope Nash, but Nash gets there first. Gets the ball, it's cleared. Up towards Winnett. The Bright gets there first. And Nikita Winnett is in trouble there. I think maybe just stretching there. Waiting for a challenge there with Laura Bright. And then it just stretching, not quite a yelp, but there was an expression of pain there and discomfort. And now Dons with Stovall, launching the ball forward up towards the penalty area. Flick on from Rhiannon Rush, rather. Couldn't get it through to Molly Cooper, and another goal kick to the hosts. And into the last 5 minutes of the first half, Crawley Wasps ladies just leading by that solitary strike, 7 minutes. And when Nicola Gibson struck, the Wasps with the opportunities and the possession they have had in this first half, again could easily been 3-0 up. Ball launched up in the air, spinning down. Who gets this one first? One up in the air there by Gibson for Crawley. Now he's a winner, and did that strike a hand? And a shout from the Anglo Dons bench. Of course, Crawley going to stay quiet. But the referee, unmoved. That's Lou Saunders. Play continues. As Dons try and come through the middle this time. Back into Warren, and the passing is getting themselves in trouble. Now Stevens breaks, trying to pounce, and Amy gets there first and looking to deliver this early. An overrun throw straight to Lancaster, and here's trouble as Martin trying to get back to cover an open goal, and that was not a good throw out from the keeper. And action up the other end of the pitch, and Molly Cooper was getting locked in arms there with Ellie Russell. And the defender's gone down. I think she's twisted her knee or her ankle there. Crawley Wasps will have a free kick that was awarded. And it's really what damage, if anything, has been done to Ellie Russell there.
LB, Soph, 10, get up early. Soph, get up. Hand, get up. He dropped into here.
And ball chips. There's a clearance. And Aaron Rush gets it. And so called back into a starting lineup today.
Next one, step in.
So Crawley making 3 changes from the team beating 3-1 last time out against Bridgewater. Don's made 4 changes from the team beating 5-1 against Oxford. And Don's tough start to the season continues. Yet to really trouble Megan Lynch in this first half. A couple of minutes to go, by my reckoning, to half time, plus whatever might get added on by Lou Saunders. Wasps leading, Crawley Wasps with that, so that slender lead, but Don's just haven't offered much resistance. Cross comes in.
Oh, DA! Fucking give me that one. Fuck me.
And cross struck into the body of Hannah Warren. The referee judging that had been handball. We're not even going to start that discussion of the handball rules because I think about as clear as soup these days. But for Crawley Wasps, they have a free kick in a very dangerous position here. Played in, but the wall does its job. Ollie Cooper with the clearance.
Don't be beaten, don't be beaten.
And there's Plura on the left. Up against Pepper, gets in behind, the ball played loose and in. White clears it.
Squash it, Moles.
But again.
Well done, Hannah Warren. Step it, step it, step it.
And to the centre, here's at Lancaster. And Wasps just having to play the ball around, but Don's just trying to finish with a bit of a flourish and trying to offer a bit of a challenge here. There's Cooper, can't keep it in play though.
Excellent, get out, well done.
Now into on my reckoning, just about into time added on the end of this first half. Just the one goal separates these two sides, but it has been very much a dominant performance, a dominant first half by Crawley Wasps. There's Gibson being forced back into her own half. But again, the way that the Crawley Wasps are being allowed the freedom of the flanks here to come up the wings, and Don's just sitting back again. Danger here, the ball into the penalty area. Strikes the feet of Sophia Stovall. The clearance is not good, and another shot comes in.
Stand there, let's get it up! Jog out!
Chance the ball now played up front to Molly Cooper. She's on her own here. Now has support from Amy Gooderham. Pepper's just inside. Here's Nicole Pepper, and the ball just over struck though. Can't pick out Gooderham, and straight through to Lynch again. Lynch launching that over the halfway line, very nearly clears the centre circle in the Don stage, and here's Winnet. The ball just bouncing for her, but just judged to have been all over the back of Laura Bright. Free kick quickly taken, well, nearly quickly taken, and Kate Newman goes, no, that wasn't a free kick.
Hey, step on.
Martin, and former Watford and Tottenham keeper, will take this. And some distance, but one up in the air. Free header there for Ellie Russell at the back. And clearance out to the right now. Here's Jay Bell. Cuts inside. Still Bell going for goal. Maybe go for goal here, I think. And does go for it. Oh, and that wasn't a million miles away. Megan Lynch getting animated there, and you can't blame her. Jay Bell yet to score this season. Still playing on, and that is the half-time whistle here at the new defence. Half-time in the FA Women's National League Premier Division South match. Crawley Wasps ladies leading by 1-0. Only goal of the half scored on 7 minutes by Nicola Gibson. And so, of course, I'll be carrying on with the half-time shout-out slot. For those of you listening on, watching on the live stream, I think you're probably going to have a little bit of a break for me, possibly. There you go, you get a bit of a respite from me. But those of you who are listening in, and those of you who have been listening in around the UK and in the Netherlands and in Germany today, just the one goal in it. So of course, a big thank you to those of you listening in. Clive Tyra having a little listen in today. And also those of you listening in, say Andy Perkins, listening in from MK. Of course, Freya and Neve, little starlets in the making. So for MK Dons women with the girls RTC, they're actually currently watching the Woburn FC under 12s Tornadoes at the MK Wanderers tournament up in Milton Keynes today. I say on the outskirts of Milton Keynes. Of course, it is very warm around southern England today. It is warm, and I'd say a big thank you to Dave Cole here at the ground. And say I haven't seen him since my Cambridge United days, and he does remember me. There you go. Once you meet Motty's Mike, you're never forgotten. And it was helped us out. We did have a bit of fun with technical and wiring today. However, he has rigged up a nice bit of shade, nice bit of tarp, but I'm sort of hiding under today because it is absolutely baking. I kid you not. So just to remind you, next weekend it's the League Cup determining round, and obviously the winners of those matches will go into the Women's League Cup competition. The teams defeated will go into the plate competition. So for Crawley, they've got London Seaward here next weekend. MK Dons will be at home at Stadium MK against Keynsham. I myself, I'm afraid, will be on FA Vars duty down in Tooting Beck, down in South London. With Tooting Beck against Jersey Bulls down in Mitcham. We'll endeavour to try and get some half-time scores for you as well. And once again, thanks for bearing with us on this rather hot Sunday afternoon. And so a half-time score from obviously the World Cup qualifiers. Wales currently trailing Belarus by 2-1. Gareth Bale giving Page's side the lead on 5 minutes from a penalty spot, but a penalty score from Vitali Lazakovic. And that's then followed up by a strike from Dynamo Brest Pavel Sedko, giving Belarus a 2-1 lead. Of course, that match being played in Kazan in Russia due to the continuing political situation in Belarus. And let's try and get some updates on the women's game around the UK for you. It's always the fun when we're trying to do multitasking. It's trying to get everything sorted out. So let's try and get some half-time scores for you. So just 2 matches in Women's Super League in the WSL being played today. In the early kick-off, it finished Arsenal 3, Chelsea 2. Down on the south coast, we'll say Brighton and Hove Albion are currently leading West Ham women by 2-0. Sissoko sent off for the Hammers in the first half. So half time, Brighton's women's side leading by 2-0. And in the Championship, of course, we know yesterday Watford beaten 3-2 at Vicarage Road against Liverpool's women's side, but half-time scores today. Charlton Athletic 1, Coventry United 1, London City Lionesses 2, Crystal Palace women 1, Sheffield United women 2, Durham women 0, Sunderland leading Blackburn Rovers by 2-0. Of course, the later kick-off, all these games are 2 o'clock kick-offs, but the 3 o'clocker is in the West Country, Bristol City taking on Lewis women. And we'll see if we can get some from the half-time scores from the FA from this division for you. And this is where we do literally pray that everything does work. It has its moments, but once again, thank you for tuning in. Cliff Hunt having a little listen in from sunny Algarve. Well, we're commentating from sunny Hawley today, so good to have you on board. Have you on board there, Cliff? And thanks for tuning in. And of course, a big thank you as well to those who have been watching the live stream, and to the camera crew doing their best to put up with a slightly stressed Motty today. Thanks for bearing with us. It's never easy doing this, but when you're on top of a scaffold, you just got to make sure you don't go backwards. Otherwise, you'll go out the back door, and it might be a little while before you see me again. But thanks again for putting up with us today. Of course, both teams in at the break. Dons subs are warming up in the heat. And of course, just a point about bench does include fullback Zoe Boot, Amy McLean, who scored in that defeat against Oxford. Dominica Netcheva, who doesn't feature on the bench today, doesn't feature on the squad, has travelled with the team to offer her support. The Slovakian winger, who's been used more as a fullback on the left side this season, is involved in this little warm-up at half-time. Also, though, are attacking options Trisha Gould and Shez Albert, as well as central defender Sasha Newsom. So we did try and promise you some half-time scores from the FA Women's National League. We're going to have a crack at it, and this is where we do go around the grounds a bit at a time. And Cardiff City ladies, not to be confused with Cardiff City women, of course, in action today. Manisha Minach. And great from Cardiff City. They've responded well, have scored a goal. They're saying it's 3-1, but they're not telling anyone who the actual 3-1 is to, which is about as useful as the Philadelphia Chocolate Fire God. So we are going to go further around the grounds and see if we can get anything today. This is always a little bit of a hard bit, trying to get the half-time scores from around the grounds. And so, of course, once you get to the Women's Championship and, of course, the Women's WSL as well, then, of course, they're everywhere. All those results and half-time scores are easily available to find. The Chichester and Chelsea at home today, taking on Ipswich Town. That will be a tough ask. Ipswich, one of the two promoted sides, but it is goalless down in Chelsea at the interval. Again, we can't really get anything out of Gillingham right now, so we're just seeing if Ipswich might be more than happy to actually give us a bit of an update at half time. And we can advise you, it is Gillingham 0. In fact, no, I beg your pardon, we are getting completely mixed information. Gillingham's site is about as updated as isn't, unfortunately. We are having a few problems today with sites not updating sites and making life a little bit harder for us. So we are going to have a little look at Portsmouth now to see if we can get a half-time score from Havant. Of course, they're playing their games at Havant and Waterlooville these days. And in a very Very dominant first half. Portsmouth are leading Keynsham by 4 goals to 1. As the wind picks up and very nearly takes our top. Well, I don't think we're in any danger of troubling Gatwick Air Traffic Control yet, but you never know where things are going. And finally, we will have a look, see if we can bring you anything from Plymouth. Plymouth Argyle, of course, at home today, taking on Oxford United. As the Dons are just making their way back out onto the pitch after a half-time team talk. Can tell you that currently Plymouth Argyle are trailing 2 goals at home. So the half-time scores we do have: Chichester and Chelsea 0, Ipswich Town 0, of course Crawley Wasps Ladies 1, MK Dons Women 0, Portsmouth 4, Keynsham Town 1, and Plymouth Argyle 0, Oxford United 2. So it's Dons out for the second half. Let's see if there will be any, maybe if there will be any changes. And of course, a lot of the crowd who I think have been in the seats on the far side have now come to the relative safety and respite of the sun with the shade on this near side. And down by to where we are. You can see here a couple of discussions going on. So Amy Gooderham, who gets her first start of the season today for MK Dons, is just having a word with the management team. Charlie Bill. Mark Lass coming out complete with tactics board in hand. And so a plan B may be needed for the second half. So it's just 1 goal of difference at the break. So now do you see Crawley Wasps come back out, of course, already virtually across the pitch already is Nikita in it. Of course, don't forget, Wasps will be attacking from right to left in the second half, and we'll be attacking the so I've dubbed it the turnstile end, attacking where the turnstiles are, of course, to the left hand side. Dons with a little warm up right in front of our commentary position as the Wasps come back out, ready for another 45 minutes, which means I will be maybe shortly doubling up with the Crawley Wasps live stream again. Can't see any changes as yet from Crawley's perspective. But again, the heat will play a factor. It will and has indeed played a factor in this first half. And it is, as you were, both sides unchanged, so starting the second half as they ended the first. And as MK Dons go into their huddle, for a very familiar routine before they kick off a half. They do it for both first half and second half, and they are going to have to regroup. And these next 10-15 minutes of this second half are going to be vital as to which way this game does go. If Dons can get a good strong start, maybe get an equaliser, opens the game up. However, if Crawley Wasps, as they've done in the first half, been very dominant, get the next goal, that will mean a very big uphill battle, and a steep road to navigate, shall we say. As we are on the way for the second half. Here at the new defence. Of course, those of you tuning in, see Crawley Wasps are in yellow and black, attacking from right to left. MK Dons all in white in their new kit for this season. Continuing their association with Marshalls. Yes, they're the speakers and amplifiers, but it is very much Crawley Wasps who are playing the tune right now. And here's Plura cutting into the penalty area. But Crawley plays it in the centre. Just scuff clear by Laura Bright. Thrown on this left hand side. Up the left goes that throw from Palmer. The ball runs through to Amy Martin. Urging the teammates forward and goes right to the edge of their area. And he's going to have to deliver this soon. And then just rolls out instead of launching out of the gloves, just playing it down low. That's a short chip. Plays straight into the feet of Amy Cole, who's then closed down by Vicky Neal, and a little bit of clash there.
Stand over it, stand over it.
And Vicky Neal, so that dubbed the enforcer at a time in that Cambridge United's midfield. Has actually had WSL2 experience, played in the 17-18 season.
Stand up, hands, stand up, don't get beat.
So 17-18 spring series, and then with Watford. And obviously just a sporting just there, and I think, you know, just actually just checking with the Amy Coles. Right, I think it was obviously nothing really in that challenge, nothing malicious, but so two experienced players there.
Kerry, bounce into Rushy there, bounce into Rushy.
Rush plays the ball back into the fence. There's Bright for MK Dons, back to the keeper. The Stovall gets wide onto the right side of the penalty area, brings the ball forward now. We'll chip up in his near side. A little slick passing here. Now here's Jay Bell, gets over one challenge, releasing Warren now up the right hand side. Cuts in, cross comes in. Megan Lynch playing herself quite a lot in mid-air to get that one. Lynch looking at her options and goes straight down the middle. The bounce evading Newman on that occasion. The Dons on the counter. Newman up the left hand side. Still travelling, and now with several Wasps buzzing around her. Should that be owning in on that? Clearance takes the deflection off Newman. And Crawley get themselves a throw in. So the ball eventually finds its way back onto the playing surface. We can get underway again. A little short break for both sides, and there's the clearance over the halfway line. One in the air by Stovold. But again, Wasps quick onto the second ball. Pepper into the centre. Now it's Bell, who is a winger but finds herself in the centre, so he's got nothing on this right hand side. But Rush going through the middle, just loses the ball there, loses the track of it. But Stovold again, composure. Now to Vicky Neal on the right side of the midfield. Out wide, and Warren's pass out. Just snatched at it there. Anna Warren. Now throwing on this left hand side, but Minute takes it into touch. And Bell just about it. It's like panto football there. Where's the ball? It's behind you, but it's Cooper into the penalty area. Teeing up now for Vicky Neal. Pass just a bit too short. And Wasps now break out. And the Ponce and say rather fortunate that sort of cannon there for Stevens. They're going to change on the far side and win it. And bright flashing there, free kick. Goes MK Don's way. So just coming out to these, just 6 minutes played of the second half. Still Crawley Wasps ladies leading by a goal to nil. Still no changes for either side. Amy Goodrum finding herself on the left side of that attacking three for the visitors today. Amy Goodrum more recognised the last couple of seasons as a centre forward, obviously playing through the middle. Shez Albert can play on the wings as well, as can Trisha Gould. So there are options on the bench for Dons if they need to shuffle the pack later on. But whilst it still stays at 1-0, I think Charlie Bill giving his side that played the first half every opportunity to stake their place to be on the pitch for the second half. But however, here come Crawley crossing to the right, it's cleared. Newman just out-muscled there. The challenge there from Gibson, the goal scorer. Of course, it's her goal after 7 minutes. It still separates these sides, but a sloppy pass there. And here's an opportunity for Bell. That goes straight through the middle, blocked there by Ellie Russell. Bell gets the ball in space. There will be smoke and fire.
Step it again. Good, Molly.
Now Goodall
Now we affect it. Good rushing.
goes straight to Rush. He tries to get the ball out to Bell. Little short pass in. Doesn't quite have the legs to make it to Molly Cooper. Wasps in possession. Culver captain. Opts for the option. Just sends it back to the keeper. Gives the defence a bit of a chance to just push up. There's a clearance there from Lynch. And up in the air. They'll win it. Brings it down again. The Wasps out to Plura on this left-hand side. Plura scored twice this season. And set up one. And gets a very determined move there, Emma Plura. And that's cleared though by Ons. Rushing midfield. Better in the second half for Dons. Still need to work on getting those passes completed a bit more percentage-wise. But here comes Warren. And again, suddenly saw Jo Bell quite late there on the right, but couldn't get the pass out to her. And the positioning for Crawley, they're anticipating Don's moves here.
Get there, Jade, get there, Jade. Next one.
It's going to be a matter of second guessing the second or third move on. It is a game of chess out there today. There's Pepper. There's Bell. And there's a bit of a little tug there, look, that's Lancaster. Gets it in her favour. So Rachel Palmer. And there's Palmer with a throw-in. We'll take it, and I think I might be about to get some refreshment coming up here. So I've got a delivery service of drinks coming up here. It's unusual for a commentator. I'm being spoilt today. As the ball just played through, goes back to Amy Martin. The keeper clears it and it goes straight up the middle, trying to play the ball over the top of Ellie Russell. Doesn't quite work on this occasion. Idea there though for the Dons. And here's this is the view from the crow's nest and stuff. And I've got, there you go, a drink ball up by Dominika Necheva. I'll say the speedy Slovakian winger, who's I'll say not on the bench today, unfortunately, but instead navigating the scaffolding to bring me a drink. So thank you very much, Tom, for that delivery service with a smile. There you go. Oh, I think I'll assist on this. I just see that little right smile. I think he probably wants a drinky as well. Yeah, unfortunately, vodka's not on the cards today. Back to the action. Frivolities and humour aside. I'll tell you what, that's been chilled as well, so I love that. But big shout there. It is still 1-0. Of course, in Crawley Wasps' favour. And once again, a big thank you for those of you listening on my audio, and of course joining us on the Wasps live stream today. Here comes Vicky Neal. The Dons on this near side, linking up with Warren. The ball played inside. Little stretch here for Neil. Gets the ball, but keeps the move alive. Lovely little bit of play there for Pepper. And Dons just getting a bit more into this game now. The ball played to Molly Cooper. Nearly colliding with Megan Lynch. The Wasps always dangerous on the counter. Ball played in through the defence, and Stevens chasing after it. Kerry Newman mops up the loose ball first. The clearance, though, not a great clearance, and that ball just bouncing at the last minute, just bobbling as Amy Martin tried to clear that. And there's that bobble, she just caught the top of it. So Amy Martin, one of the several new faces for this season's Don squad. As we said before, Amy Martin previously playing for the likes of Tottenham and Watford as keeper. But Nikita Winnett down on the far side. Is staying down. Just over, coming out to nearly 12 minutes played in the second half. No addition to the scoreline for the first 45 minutes. So still Crawley Wasps leading by a goal to nil. And Nikita Winnett does get up eventually, and so the physio, who was ready on this near side touchline like a coiled spring, not needed. So he's now got to go back into his box and wait for maybe the next occasion if he's needed. It's Crawley push for a second. They'll take the ball into touch, a bit too eager there. And still just one goal the difference between the two sides. Clearance out, Bell with the first touch, bit heavy though, and it runs loose, and Crawley have it again. Lancaster though picking out Plura, and Plura charging into the penalty area again like a steam train. Still Emma Plura plays it across. Oh, and the ball, and a little touch here from Laura Bright. And that was a little apology from the skipper because that nearly went through Amy Martin. Keeper seeing it, probably a little bit late. Real let off there. Rachel Palmer's deflection off her head there. It's a throw-in on this near side for the visitors. Warren with the throw. There's Vicky Neal, just opens her body up there and plays the ball just behind Sophia Stovall, who's being charged down there, closed down by Nikita Winnett. A little bit of a push and a nudge there, and the referee spotted it. And the thing is though, when you are an express train and you're charging in and the brakes just aren't there, sometimes you do have no option but to collide with someone. Still 1-0. And things opening up here, and again a little bit of frustration creeping into some of the players here for Crawley Wasps, and so we saw Winnett there diving in on that challenge and nudging in. We've just seen Lancaster get a little bit feisty there as well. And of course Crawley Wasps in the first half could have been 3-0 up at the break, but Molly Cooper now threatening, playing the ball into the centre. That's a good one, the shot on the turn is blocked. Cooper though gets the ball back for Dons. Here's Vicky Neal. Now the Pepper finding Jay Bell. Now Bell cuts inside. And just trying to tee up an opportunity here. As Molly Cooper picks out Newman, goes for goal and tries a crossbar. Oh, what an opportunity! And the follow-up shot is one the keeper, and Crawley are in a right on mess at the back here, and a bit of panic for the Wasps here. I think they weren't expecting that, and Kerry Newman, it is a blue moon when Kerry Newman gets a goal. We nearly had one there. But on the far side, things like Natasha Stevens there, I mean, nearly colliding with the low fence down that far side. She's back up on the feet. The physio again, ready to get called into service, but not needed again. That's more or less the hour mark here at the new defence. Still Crawley Wasps ladies leading by a goal to nil. Nicola Gibson's opener on 7 minutes feels such a long time ago, and indeed it's because it is. Throw into Crawley. Again, a second goal now for the Wasps. Would give them a bit of a breather, because whilst things are like this, we've just seen MK Dons threaten with aplomb. Newman striking the crossbar, And then a follow-up shot very near, well, they've been placed wide of Megan Lynch, but a defender came to her aid to help her. And again, MK Dons warming up, and I think we've got a change coming here. And Shez and Amy Gooderham being substituted now for Shez Albert. And we've got a double substitution here for Crawley Wasps. Aisha Swarby and Charlotte Owen coming on. And so goal scorer Nicola Gibson leads the field of play. So it's Gibson off and Owen on. And so Swarby.
19 gone already, yeah? Yes. Brilliant, okay.
And that's Natasha Stevens. And so it was a late change into the starting lineup in place of Niara Denny. And Swarby very nearly making an impact straight off the bench. So 2 fresh pairs of legs on for Crawley. Maybe just trying to just get the swing of momentum back round, because in the last 10 minutes or so, Dons have started to get a bit more of a hold into the game. Still haven't scored, but have come perilously close from a Crawley perspective. And again, once again, thank you to everyone getting involved, either listening in or on the live stream today in the sunshine. So just to catch you up with those subs again, Natasha Stevens, number 11, was replaced by Aisha Swarby, and Charlotte Owen, number 10, coming on for Nicola Gibson, number 8 for Crawley. And just one change for Dons. Amy Gooderham, who had number 19, is off, and number 9, of course, it's Shez Albert coming on. Shez Albert, former Watford and QPR ladies at striker, could play anywhere on the flanks. And did score 7 goals last season, up to the season getting curtailed by COVID for the second season in a row. And he's a dab hand with penalties as well. A free kick here, midway through the Crawley half. Wasps. And everyone back, putting everybody back now apart from Aisha Swarby. Nicole Pepper with the free kick. And there's a short one in the centre now. Bell maybe going for a goal and just trying to overplay things here. Our Don's getting too elaborate. Pepper trying from range.
And also, I think you could just reverse it to Shez, and Shez kills off.
So goal kick to Crawley Wasp. Megan Lynch places that one down. And there's a hammer blew up. Taking advantage of having some drinkies. Again, it is very hot. It's warm out there. There's a bit of shade that's coming on our side, on this near side, part of the second half, but it is quite exposed elsewhere. And the ball played for a nice defence, splitting pass here. Winnett pouncing over, and was that a bundle over? Gets back on the feet, goes for a goal, and plays it whistling across the face of goal there. And Charlie Bill, the Dons manager, thinking that was a bit of a barge. But again, the ball, that pass splitting the Dons defence, and whoever chases after it, Dons got to look at how those passes are being allowed to be executed and how they're picking them apart in the back. Martin though, placing the ball down on the left side of the 6-yard box. See what distance you can get with some of the kicks. They have been a bit of a mixed match at times, but very nearly making the halfway line. Now it's the bounce out, and Albert's done well to keep that ball in play here. Shez Albert now going into the penalty area, very nearly stopped by Ellie Russell, who's been a rock in the defence for the Crawley Wasps this afternoon. That ball just spiralling off. Kerry Newman in front of the clubhouse. Whilst we were throwing home Nash. Little touch there for Charlotte Owen. Remember, it's still just 1 goal between these two sides. Nicola Gibson has scored it, now off, of course, but Dons are starting to lose their way. Did get themselves back into the game and have struck the crossbar with that lovely effort from Newman. And now there's Bell. And that's what happens when he gets the ball and he wins it for. She seemed to have her shirt pulled slightly, got back up on her feet, and the referee has seen that and has brought play back and said it was for the shirt tug. And there did seem to be a little bit of white cloth grabs at Lou Sanders. Lou Saunders even, saying it's a free kick. Pepper places the ball down. And Stovall now coming up from the back, bit more height into attack here on the edge of the penalty, on the edge of the Wasps penalty area. Laura Bright up there as well. Bell also wide on this near side. The ball played into the penalty area. One up in the air there by Molly Cooper.
Get herself in then, jog and do it, transition early.
So her move breaks down amidst the free kick, and it will be Wasps breathing a sigh of relief.
Good areas there, Nick.
Of course, Wasps with 2 changes made, and so Dons with the 1. Of course, Dons do have Zoe Boot, Amy McLean, Sasha Newsom and Trisha Gall yet to call on. Also, Crawley Wasps will say, obviously Holly Talbot-Smith, Florence Jackson. We are assuming that Mara Denny was dropped to the bench at the very last minute for Sasha Stevens in that first half, so maybe 3 more legs that could come on. The Dons, the fullback. Hannah Warren, the ball coming to be filled in. Bell getting it in a very deep position, and Bell skips over one chance, gets past her Fleur, squares it in the centre now to Vicky Neal. These two both played together at Cambridge at United, but the ball just running under the feet there of Hannah Warren. The fullback just couldn't stop it, but Hannah Warren, you mustn't forget, is one of the youngest in the squad. It's quite a youthful element, and here's Molly Cooper. It's the ball on the edge of the area, ball just skipping up, plays it straight at Megan Lynch.
Come on again, let's go, let's lift it. Really good rush.
Of course, keeper just got to go to the ground, eat up the clock and just give yourself it when you get the shot there. Just take a breather. We now have an injury though. A stoppage in play, and actually midway through the second half, still Crawley Wasps leading by a goal to 0.
Are we going to spray? Drinks break.
And now with a drinks break. Again, mustn't forget the temperature into the mid-20s here today. That breeze has strengthened a bit though since kick-off. A lot of red-faced players out here at the Dons just getting drinks and getting liquid. You get those fluids on board. Get the old sport gels as well, whatever floats your boat. And of course, whilst that. So also the player getting treated there. Let's hope Nash actually getting in. She's back up on her feet, but of course it does mean with the drinks break was called, and you'll see a lot more of that. I think it's more of a players' welfare these days. And Charlie Bill, just reiterating to his players, they've got literally just under 22 minutes to go. They are still in the game. The dominant 45 minutes from what Crawley Wasps is now a thing of a pass. They still have that 1-goal lead, but Dons with better chances in the second half rather, striking the crossbar. Got the shots in at Megan Lynch, who has held well under a bit of pressure in this second half. Must temper that by, though, of course, very nearly an own goal committed at the other end. Laura Bright with a touch, intercepting the ball, and it very nearly went for Amy Martin, who had to clear it virtually a yard off her goal line. We are now back to action, about to resume play for the final 20 or so minutes. Of course, the action coming from Hawley Town's ground. This is their main ground at the new defence. Just behind the leisure centre in Hawley. Of course, this is Crawley's at home. Having been nomads playing all over the place, all the likes of that, playing at Gatwick and Odd Down and at Stenning, which is up where I last saw them play a couple of years ago. And now making Hawley their residence. And they are aiming at the moment to say, can they get 3 wins out of 3? They are unbeaten at home up to today, and as of now, they are looking with 1 foot to making it 3 wins from 3 games at home. And it's coming in, the ball into the penalty area. It's taken away there before it could reach Charlotte Owen. And when it's appealing for the penalty there, not given. And the bell is getting wide, but it's the action on the left now as Molly Cooper gets in behind the defence, nearly getting into the penalty area. Oh, and Cooper just pulled back there, much to her annoyance, and she's arguing with the referee, claiming that Ellie Russell had maybe gone to the ground a little bit easy. Of course, the referee's decision is final, and whether you like the ref's decisions or not, all the assistant referees' choices, of course, whether you like them or not, you need to respect them, as we do. I'll always remind listeners and viewers, without the officials, we wouldn't have footy in the first place, so it ain't an easy job. Spoken like a true former club assistant referee in my earlier days. But here's Bell on the right hand side, trying to get past Palmer. Hand on the back of Bell. Here's a free kick, and Palmer is being pulled back. The referee wants a word here, and this could be a card, and I think it is indeed. First bit of custard this afternoon. I think that is maybe just down, maybe a little bit of persistency, and it might not necessarily be the same player committing all the fouls. If the side are persistently putting niggly challenges in, the referee will make an example and go, it's persistent from your side. So we are seeing our first yellow card of the afternoon. "72 minutes. Rachel Palmer becomes the recipient. 2 in the wall here. Looking rather close there for 10 yards. I think the referee's going to be he's pacing out at 10 yards, so 2 in the wall. It's Owen and Palmer. Emma Pluer just out to the right hand side, a few yards out, just on the edge of the penalty area as we're watching, and she's basically doing that to shadow Jade Bell, who is in line with her, and there's an option here, so either this goes wide to Bell or gets curled straight into the penalty area. Here's the latter, and that's curled in. One in the air by Molly Cooper, but got right under it and couldn't direct that elsewhere except into touch. Goal kick. Megan Lynch will take. She just goes over to the corner to pick up the loose ball. And still that slender lead that has looked a little fragile in this second half. And Don's management team all urging Dons be on the front foot, anticipate, and these kicks, and that's not a great kick from Lynch. And a silly challenge there. Silly challenge there from Nicole Pepper on Charlotte Owen. So Crawley Wasps with the free kick. It's only 16 minutes to go of the second half. Naomi Cole, the captain, sends that long over the top of Hannah Warren. It just kills out onto his near side. And again, who do you expect to be there? Of course, Emma Pluer.
One step, Charlie, from 8 onto the line, buddy. Frustrating football today.
That's like Charlie Bill just being asked there, just to not get too close to the byline. Of course, the assistant referee's job is hard enough to do without people getting in your eye line. I think what they need is those child reins, the old Tufty Club reins back in the day. I think that's the one thing to do. That'll put Charlie on the bungee cord. But here's Swaby wiggling through the challenges, finally stopped about a third time of asking, but Palmer gets it. A little push there from Vicky Neal. Here's Goodall to Swaby. The ball just playing off the shoulder of a Bell, and there's Aisha Swaby, whose persistency is into the penalty area. Danger not yet averted. The ball's cleared now. Rhiannon Rush just hacks it clear. And that was maybe just a hurriedly taken there from Rhiannon Rush. No puns coming on that one. And better than that. Now Jade Bell just talking to Warren as this ball comes in straight to the feet of Swarby. Just answers on the ball there. Tries to round Bell. Being held up by the player we dubbed Turbos. And we've seen a little bit of what she can do this in the game, but again, he's not getting the ball in space, and if he runs on the ball, is going to be a threat, but that threat has not been unleashed on Crawley a lot today. And Nikita in it again, gets that ball right to the byline, now cuts back in, Nash in the penalty area, the cross comes in, Owen with a touch, shot on the turn maybe, no, takes a touch, maybe a touch too many. Steers it out to the right side penalty area. And we're clattering straight into Kerry Newman there. Free kick given to MK Dons inside the last quarter of an hour here at the new defence. Still 1-0, the Wasps lead. Sheds Albert brings the ball under control for Dons. There's Newman. And Jay Bell screaming for the ball to be switched. He's in Blake. There's a space on this near side, but I don't think anyone's hearing her or seeing her. But Wasps are threatening. The shot from Swaby on the edge of the box in, straight to the keeper.
Keep moving it, Kerry.
And I think Nikita in that is down, and away her left leg just bobbling up and down there means that there's a little bit of pain in her, quite a bit of discomfort. This is a break in play, and obviously injuries can't be helped, but it does also disrupt momentum for both sides. Jay Bell still literally in front of our commentary position, like a coiled spring. The turbo's waiting to be unleashed. They've got just under 13.5 minutes. If Dons are to get on the score sheet this afternoon and at least get something from this game, remember this corresponding fixture last season, Molly Cooper. Her strike was the fly in the ointment for Wasps. It's a little bit different today, but Dons have scored in all 3 matches so far this season. Obviously last week's match against Hounslow Women was postponed due to, unfortunately, an outbreak of COVID in the visitors' camp. And that is just the times we're in now these days. It is COVID football, as I call it, which means you will get games called off. We do have the happy report though that Nikita Winner is back up on her feet. Looking a little bit ginger though on those pins, and I wondered if this could be maybe a change. I don't know. We'll see. It's just being led to the far side. Of course, once you receive treatment, you've got to leave the field of play before you can come back on anyway. But it is a very much vastly experienced figure. Just trying to warm up there. No, that didn't look good. I mean, trying to just run a couple of little quick shuttle runs there. And he is indeed reintroduced back into play. Crawley back up to the left of the side, back up to full strength. Cooper with the header for Dons. Caught the back of the head though. Molly Cooper. And now the physio is being, I think the physio is being called. No, it was about to be called on, and Lou Saunders, referee, just halting the MK Dons physio's progress right at the last minute. And now the physio is coming on, and well, there's 2 members of the medical team coming on here for MK Dons. Well, to me, if that's a suspected head injury, no matter what, or concussion, or a bit of whiplash, you get your medics on as quick as possible. But that's just my opinion. However, not easy being out in the middle. There's a lot to do, a lot to control, a lot of variables and things that can go all over the place. And this does mean a chance for Wasps to get a breather. Kerry Newman taking on some liquid on this near side.
Let's do Amy first. She's ready.
I think we're about to see the second change for MK Dons, and I think that could be number 24, Amy McLean, about to come on, who scored her first goal with the club in that 5-1 defeat against Oxford United. So coming up to about 10 minutes to go now. Molly Cooper is stretched out on the pitch right now, and this does not look good for MK Dons. I think this could be a like for like change, because this is sort of going on for quite a while. Of course, you can't rush these sort of things. And I've got, by my reckoning, there's about 10 minutes to go on my watch, plus whatever gets added on for stoppages. And of course, we have had quite a few, a couple of injury treatments. And Amy McLean is coming on. And it does, I think it's looking very, very likely that it will be Molly Cooper. So Amy McLean, fresh from scoring last weekend. Also scoring in the week rather, we'll be looking to get back-to-back goals. But this is, as I said, this is a lengthy stoppage in play, and it's very sporting as well now to see that the Crawley Wasps physio is out there as well helping. It's two members of MK Don's medics team out there, and Crawley Wasps. And at times like this, no matter who your opponents are, you do help them. You do help out players. So of course, Don's taking on refreshment. Both teams taking on drinks here, with opportunity, with a break in plays. Treatment continues for the stricken Molly Cooper, who is Don's leading goal scorer this season with 2 strikes, 2 goals. McLean is the only other player in Don's colours to have scored in the league this season, and she's now on. And it's just really, whilst this break in play continues, just remind you that both sides are in the League Cup or Plate determining round next weekend. MK Dons will be taking on Keynsham Town. Crawley Wasps have got London Seaward. That's the new name for what was Leyton Orient's women's side. So Vicky Neal, last season's vice captain, and alongside obviously last season's and this season's current club captain Laura Bright, just getting instructions there from Charlie Bill. The rest of the team are in a huddle just inside the Crawley Wasps halfway, so just standing around a little circle. There are a few glances there just being shown over, and say Chez Albert looks a concern there for a teammate. Molly Cooper is still down receiving treatment and is staying down. I think what's happened, it looked like she get caught at the back of the head, or maybe just caught at the top of the neck there. So maybe a little bit, maybe suspect a little bit of whiplash or a little knock there, a little jolt, and obviously if you know, and I think this might be a little bit more serious. So we're now seeing the Crawley Wasps videos now running over to the far side. I'm wondering if this may be, we may be about to get reinforcements called in, possibly. I'm not sure. I think it's just maybe, and this is a bit worrying. As I said, Molly Cooper has stayed down there, and I'm wondering, and it looks like I'm wondering if maybe the ambulance is being called here. There is the club official, the video's just spoken to, is on his phone, and it does look a very serious stop in play here as treatment continues for Molly Cooper. And so we've still as treatment continues, and this is of course this is a suspected head injury or neck injury. It does mean obviously it's best not to move a player concerned. The best thing, and I'd say that all 3 physios now there on scene, is very much just about making them as comfortable, make the players as comfortable as possible. And Nikita Winnett there, who's been around the pitches a few times, he's just staying close attendance as well. And this does mean that obviously this completely holds things with literally about 10 minutes to go when that happens. And Molly Cooper is still down, so obviously I would just like to say once again, get some thank yous in. We say obviously we could be here for quite some time. I'm glad it's not raining. It's up on the top of the tower here. A perfect vista of the new defence. I'd like to say a big thank you to, of course, to Hawley Town today for their facilities. Big thank you as well to Crawley Wasps and Crawley Wasps ladies, and of course Dave Cole making me feel welcome as well. And of course, thank you to Jack. I think I got that correct this time. Yeah, our cameraman for today, who's and his Wizzo Techie team as well on the live stream. Hope you've enjoyed the pictures and the commentary so far. Of course, we now have obviously a serious injury on the pitch, which has sadly befallen Molly Cooper. And so the assistant on this near side, yeah, so Paul Savell, just in conversation with referee Lou Saunders, and of course we are into the last 10 minutes, so obviously the question is, should the game have to be abandoned? I'm pretty sure as it's reached 80 minutes, the score I think could stand. It's whether that does still happen.
I've done like 8 games, I can't do it.
Obviously when there is a break in play, so when there is a lull, you can hear a lot of conversations going on. And an interesting one with Vicky Neal was just in front of us, chatting to the match officials, something along the lines of, I can't run the line. Now I don't know if it's the fact that Vicky won't run the line or has had it before, but we are, and so obviously the game was in Crawley Wasps' favour scoreline wise. Nicola Gibson giving them the lead on 8 minutes. Well, of course the game has now taken a bit of a turn, a very unfortunate turn. Molly Cooper is still down on the pitch and is face down, but they are, more importantly as well, when the players face down on the pitch, is maintaining, on a medical point of view, I'm no qualified doctor of course, but it is maintain airway, make sure the player's comfortable, is responsive, and everything that can be done club-wise at the moment is being done by both teams. And Charlie Bill, I think, just coming over now, maybe just have some reassuring words of comfort for Molly Cooper. And it does appear that I believe that we do believe an ambulance may have been called. And here's the question as well: is how do you keep the players focused with something like this? Obviously, Crawley Wasps players, quite a couple of them there. There's so Rachel Palmer and of course Naomi Cole are seeing what's going on in front of them. A lot of the players try and take teammates' minds off things, keep them away. Don't look at what's happening. It's because this can affect players' mindset. You see your teammate down, you're going to be concerned for their safety and their welfare. If you're one of the opposing players, was it my challenge that did it, or was that player okay? No one likes seeing anyone get hurt in football, for whatever reason. And so again, play continuing, or say play not continuing rather, the treatment continuing for Molly Cooper. And it is going for players, with all the running around, this is where the lactic builds up, and very nice as well. Now seeing some shade, a parasol or umbrella being brought over as well, because it's, again, Molly Cooper is about 10 yards to the right of the centre circle, and it is beltingly hot out there. It does mean that now a bit of shade being brought out for the player. And assistant referee coming out with probably one of the best understatements of the year. Don't need a coat because it's not wet or cold or raining. Well, definitely not wrong there. And of course, for those of you who are listening on the CW Sports radio audio bit today,
take a few hands.
and well, they're now actually bringing, let's say, a stretcher is now coming out, so it looks like maybe Molly Cooper is deemed, looks like Molly Cooper is probably, I've got to be honest, the stretcher's coming out, but if there is a suspected maybe neck or head injury, I'm not, I think it's not even a stretcher, it's actually a free kick mannequin coming out, and I don't know if that's, I think I'm actually using that as shade. Now that's an inventive use. I thought for a minute they were going to try and manufacture a stretcher out of that. I thought no, but no, that's there you go. If you ever wondered what to do with your spare mannequins, or as I do know a man who calls them mannequins, there you go, a bit of extra shade if they stay in. As we are still waiting for say the emergency services, I believe, have been called, are on their way. And we're literally, this obviously happened at 80 minutes to go. We are now at full time. So this is where, 10 minutes has elapsed since that injury to Molly Cooper. And it hasn't, believe me, it's felt an eternity. Players still on the pitch here, obviously trying to move around, because of course once you stop running around, the lactic builds up in the legs, you start feeling like you're carting concrete blocks around in your boots. And again, Aisha Swarby there, just doing a little bit of keepy-uppy, trying to keep her mind concentrated. Again, keeping those fast twitch fibres ready to get back into action. Again, as to when there'll be a resumption of play, your guess is about as good as mine at the moment. And of course, right now, the main thing is all important, the well-being of Molly Cooper. The Dons at centre forward. They went down heavy under a challenge, and went down heavy under a challenge, and she went down. She actually was holding the back of the head and her neck. And again, some of the Dons players now in conversation going, we thought, I think like me, they thought, was that a stretcher coming on? And when we saw the mannequins, no, of course not. But once again, a big thank you to everyone who's been tuning in today and watching. Again, a very unfortunate turn of events as halted play. And with an injury, it does look quite serious. And so the question is, obviously, first time I've ever done a live stream involvement in commentary when there's something like this has happened. So where we go from, there's no, I don't think there's any such thing as like a rule book. There's what you do and how we go about this. So I think we could be on there too, as long as all the batteries conk out, I think. So I don't know what's going to go out first. I have a Jack's camera on my laptop. So I think we'll see what happens here. And again, and it's a conversation. So because that game has reached the 80th minute, is there now perhaps maybe discussion coming into play now? Could the game be abandoned at 80 minutes? It wouldn't be the first. I mean, it used to be, I think, 75. I think it is now 80 minutes that a game, if it is abandoned at 80, that result would stand. But it's whether Dons agreed to that, because of course 1-0. Well, you did hit the crossbar in the second half. Of course, some. That rifled shot, that rasping shot from Kerry Newman, and then a follow-up shot was placed wide of Megan Lynch, who was a bit slow to react, couldn't get to it. One of the defenders cleared the ball from her.
I mean, we can carry on.
But so good to see that the mood in both camps. Yes, it is serious what's gone on the pitch, and obviously Molly Cooper still receiving treatment, has been made comfortable. I think that's obviously the physios are there, and of course, so now Kim Crawley's manager is now coming over to join the discussion here, just past the centre circle. And so both the assistants, I say Steve Hart and Paul Saville are there. Nikita Winnet is in that gaggle of little congregation alongside the match officials. Other players are in groups, and they'll be laughing, they'll be joking going around. And again, it is with your teammates, you see someone down or an opposition player down, you're trying to keep players' mindsets switched on without thinking, oh my God, what's happened there? That could have been me. And so what we are going to do, so at the moment, the live stream, I'm going to try and keep on air, we'll give you an audio what's going on at the moment, but for those of you who are watching in on the live stream, we're going to have a little bit of break there. Will we, a very nice little graphic, don't worry, it's not my mug shot, you don't need to be that scared. We are, of course, waiting for an ambulance that has been called, so whilst that, we're waiting for that to come on, we're going to take a little breather from the live stream. So thank you for those who've been watching in. We'll take a little breather right there, and we will continue as long as we can on CW Sport Radio. You can find that on cwsportradio.com. Obviously, we can't tell you an awful lot more at the moment, but you don't already know. But Molly Cooper has suffered what looks like a suspected very serious head or neck injury, and he's getting treatment from the physios. Umbrella or parasol's been brought out to give a shade from the sun. A couple of free kick mannequins came out, and we thought they were going to try and use them as a stretcher for a minute, but thankfully that was allayed. And we are, and so of course, whilst there were still 10 minutes to play, the game, no one's really going to. I think Charlie Bill will probably be reluctant to abandon the game, because with 10 minutes to go, Dons could fashion an equaliser. Again, with 10 minutes to go, Crawley Wasps ladies could get a second goal. So we are very much in that limbo period, and what do you do? I think we've now got a little bit of, maybe there's a bit of a development here, is that Crawley Wasps manager's just calling all the players together. And unfortunately it's probably a little bit far away from our mics to pick up what exactly is being said. I'm going to see if we can try and maybe find out what the score is. So we're trying to find out what the latest is. So last we knew, I think an ambulance has been called. As in terms of play, with 10 minutes to go, could it be abandoned? 3 hours. So I've got a sneaky feeling. I think this game could that. If would the result? We're going to consult with RSC Red. We're not sure if the result would stand at 80. Down to the FA. So. And thank you to those of you joining us back here at the new defence here in Hawley Town. It's been a bit of a strange afternoon, and I think that's putting it mildly. And those of you, obviously when you left us off there, obviously the game had been suspended due to an injury suffered by Molly Cooper, MK Don's striker. The ambulance and paramedics have since are in attendance, and Molly Cooper, I'm happy to say, is now about to be about to be transported, taken off to hospital for further checks and observation. In the meantime, the players, both teams, are going through a warm-up as we are going to play the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes, because the game was suspended at 80, will continue and will resume with Crawley Wasps with that slender 1-goal lead. From Don's perspective, Amy McLean was about to come onto the field, and I think Amy McLean had been brought on because obviously it was quite apparent right from the offset that Molly Cooper wasn't going to be able to take any further part this afternoon, but we will have the last 10 minutes for you. And once again, thank you for those of you who have been sending in all your messages as well. I appreciate it. Hasn't been the easiest of afternoons, and obviously for those who everyone's sending in their well wishes for Molly Cooper. Miles is now on the wheelie stretcher, so she's about to get the VIP transportation off the pitch, and this is looking a lot more promising. In the meantime, both sets of players now have got to take their mind away from what's happened for the last hour. As much as that sounds cynical and impersonal, they've now got to say, right, we've got 10 minutes of football to play here. There is still a game to play. As much as that pales into insignificance this afternoon with the circumstances, with the events of today, it is very much 3 points are still in the offing. Could still be a share of the points still. It is a 1-goal lead, remember. Of course, Nicola Gibson's a goal on 7 minutes, pouncing on a goal scramble, which eventually saw the ball poked home. We are about to get things going. We will be back, obviously... And so the last 10 minutes are about to be played. And so thank you for all your for all your messages. For all those messages coming in today for in support of Molly Cooper, and whether you're an MK Dons fan, whether you're a Wasps fan, or whether you're just a neutral, no one likes seeing anyone injured in any sport. Everyone's out there enjoying what they do, and once again, thank you to the fast response of the medic teams for both teams, and say Crawley Wasps physio getting involved and helping, and that's what you do, you help out. Happy to say that Molly Cooper is now been taken off the pitch, is now on the stretcher, and about to her ambulance awaits her. There you go, Molly, personalised carriage. But so Molly obviously will go to we don't know where yet. Obviously, I'm sure that will be the club will deal with that now, and obviously Molly will leave the field of play and go with the paramedics for further observations. Thank you again. And Molly Cooper had been substituted, so of course match officials had to stay around as well, because whilst the game was put into a status of suspension, it wasn't abandoned. Now it could easily have been. I think the easy thing to do would have been say, yeah, abandon it, call the game off. That's the easy way out. And I know that sounds quite insensitive, but I think gone are the day. Obviously, when everyone's come here, we got players have travelled all over to get here, and it's a round of applause for Molly Cooper, who now finally leaves the field of play. on a wheelie carriage. There she go. When Moles makes an exit, she don't have to do it in style, but no, fair play Molly Cooper. Our thoughts are with you today, Moles. And happy to report that, and obviously Moles going with, I think, a couple of the MK Dons physio team. So obviously Molly will now go with the paramedics and head off. And once again, thank you very much obviously to the response of everyone involved, and of course the support, of Crawley Wasps as well, and everyone behind the scenes of Dave Cole. And there we go. Now the teams rally themselves together. The huddle dispersing for Dons. We've got 10 minutes of football to play here. Currently, Crawley Wasps are leading by a goal to nil. 10 minutes to go. We are about to get underway in what has been, as I said, a very, very unusual afternoon. And thank you for those of you on the live stream coming back to us, and those of you who stuck with us on the audio as well today with CW Sport Radio. Thank you as well. But Molly Cooper on the way now to get further treatment, of course. But we are about to play into the last 10 minutes to go. Of course, here is a free kick. Of course, we mustn't forget that. Taken, and now here's Pepper on the right hand side playing the ball hoisted high into the Wasps penalty area. And the keeper leaves it, goes into play. It goes into touch rather. So goal kick into the 81st minute now. So remember, we have 10 minutes to go. Of course, Vicky Neal rallying the team round and trying to get their minds onto the game now, because of course it's 10 minutes to go. The MK Dons management team all encouraging their players as well. Same with Wasps, and this is it, because everyone's had nearly an hour break. We'll say an hour without playing. So here's, it says Albert, and Amy McLean fouled about 25-30 yards from goal. A free kick in a very central area here. Now this would be quite dangerous for Crawley Wasps, and two in the wall at the moment, Charlotte Owen and Rachel Palmer, just being marshalled back the required 10 yards, and the referee's going on that bit further. There you go, few more steps, that'll do. And Nicole Pepper standing over at this free kick. Remember, Wasps with that narrow 1-0 lead. Could that about to evaporate, I wonder? There's Pepper and the wall jumping up and down, trying to put her off. The ball floated in, and that wasn't a million miles away, just over the top of the crossbar. And maybe that pogoing wall, that's something new, and we're about to see another change. And now a third change of the afternoon. Sees the introduction of former London Bees winger Trisha Gould coming on for Rhiann Rush. So Rhiann Rush, number 8, replaced by number 15, Trisha Gould. And Gould now goes out onto the left wing, and there's a bit of a reshuffle here. We'll say onto the left side of midfield rather. So Shez Albert, I thought at one stage maybe Dons were going to go 2 up front. And I think they might still, well, it looks like they might still try that actually. With Jay Bell just hanging around in that sort of no man's area, sort of area just between midfield and attack. But if they can get the ball out to Bell, this could be danger. On the halfway line, the ball hooked into the Crawley half. Now picked up by the right fullback, I beg your pardon, Hope Nash. First bit of action there for Trisha Gould. And the ball's gone into touch, and also, well, someone's going to get it in the meantime. Ball on this near side, introduced, so to get on into the action. So 83 minutes gone. 7 to go. Yes, I appreciate there was nearly an hour between playing the 80th and the 81st minute. Now throwing for Wasps up the right hand side, trying to pick out Aisha Swarby. And now the loose ball. Here's McLean, takes a touch, bobbles it through, and still McLean. Bell now picks up the mantle, plays the ball behind it, trying to play it behind the defender. Bell into the right side of the box now. Cross comes in. Took a deflection, did it? It's cleared. Now picked up by Stovald, chesting it rather heavily. Swarby nearly takes it off her. Stovald locked in her arms, and then Aisha Swarby forces her way through. Now's the break on for Crawley. But Brewer shows too much of that ball. It's definitely sparked back into life here. If there ever was a resumption, these players, that's a spinning backspin clearance. One in the air though, by Naomi Cole for Crawley Wasps. Now Plua linking up with Swarby. Owen spins around, gets the ball, it's got support down the centre for Mimi Lancaster. Lancaster, the 2-15s now, she rounds Trisha Gould, and Lancaster getting those boots blazing there, goes into the top right corner. And now Newman joining the fray, 3 players tangling away, ball cleared, Nikita Winnett, and runs straight, well, seems runs in. Sort of ran into Newman, but I think Newman, to be fair, stood her ground and didn't move. And the free kick awarded, and Nikita Winnett did see her progress halted quite suddenly there, but is that back up on her feet? Will be a free kick. I think so. Naomi Cole looked to take this. We're 85 minutes gone, so 5 minutes remaining of the regulation 90. And thank you to those of you all listening in on the audio feed, and of course watching on the live stream as well. Just the 1 goal separates these 2 sides. Cross, the free kick comes in, and a good parry there from Amy Martin, and what a telling save that was, right at the left there. Amy Martin, who you could argue might have been a bit exposed and caught out for the opener. Great parry there, and will that spur Dons on? But here's Plua trying to stand with the challenge, and well, here's a chance, another good block again by Amy Martin. It's Alamo football now. Dons are going to weather the storm here. Can they break? The ball played forward to Bell, intercepted by Nash on this left hand side. Links up with Plua. The ball just played a bit heavy, but Nash gets it again. Squares in the centre. Blaster from Cole just goes wide of the top left corner. But Amy Martin with a couple of cracking stops there. Good parry from the keeper, and then blocking the shot on the line with the leg. I'll tell you what, and that is why the importance of what's happening this afternoon. You do have to then get back in the zone, get your head in the game, and again, Amy Martin might have just kept her side in it. Can Dons nick an equaliser here? And McLean up in attack, Albert staying high as well, and Jay Bell. But again, Swarby now for Crawley. Can't keep that in play, and just ran out of turf, ran out of real estate there. 87 minutes played. Crawley Wasps ladies 1, MK Dons women 0. Now, quick release being called for from Amy Martin by the management team for Dons. The ball launched towards the halfway line. Free header for Palmer in that midfield, because everyone's pushing forward. Is looking very, it's got more holes than a blooming pack of polo mints. Here's Amy Lancaster for Crawley, up onto the edge of the box of Charlotte Owen, looks a glance and tries to play the ball out to the left. Now Dons get it with Jay Bell, stopped by Palmer. And that was a telling challenge there from Rachel Palmer, as Bell would have been away there. So here's a throw in right in front of just under our commentary position. Pepper strokes it to the captain. Laura Bright launches that ball deep into Crawley territory. Little foot in there from Sakara Goodall into the midfield. And then Vicky Neal with a strong challenge in on the kick to win it, and it is a free kick. And update, Molly Cooper now on the way to hospital, and we wish Molly Cooper all the best. But there's still action to play here. 2 minutes of regulation time to go. Just a 1 goal that separates the sides, and Wasps are maybe just trying to eat up the clock a little bit. Happy with that 1-0 lead, but here's Aisha Swarby being shadowed there by Stowell, but Swarby gates free onto the edge of the penalty area. Dons just hacked the ball up the centre by Vicky Neal. Returned with interest there by Ellie Russell, and Dons have got to compose themselves if they want a share of the spoils today. Of course, Crawley, and that's a challenge. A bit of a challenge. I thought I felt that impact from Emma Plua. In on that Hannah Warren, and the ball coming back, and it comes straight to Swarby into the penalty area. Swarby sends it straight to Amy Martin. Martin launches it. That's not a bad clearance actually. Out towards Trisha Gould. The ball knocked into touch. Throw into Dons. We're into the last minute or so of the 90 now. We're now closing down for the last 10 minutes that we would have had at time of Molly Cooper's injury.
Let's go, Kerry!
And it is last chance saloon here for MK Dons. Jay Bell screaming for the ball. It's going to be a long ball forward, but the ball played forward initially by Pepper, charged down. Now Dons waiting for just waiting for the ball to come down. Chested down by Vicky Neal. Little challenge from behind there by Charlotte Owen. Well, she put her foot in from behind. You can't challenge from behind. Free kick to Dons. Vicky Neal moves forward now, and this is going to be a long ball. I think a long ball free kick played into the penalty area. Bell goes wide on the right hand side. Vicky Neal is joined in the centre just outside that penalty area by Stovall and McLean. Albert's there as well. Now Gould comes in from the left wing, but it's Nicole Pepper with the delivery duties here. Now 4 yards, 5 yards into Crawley Wasps territory. Free kick floated into the penalty area. Keeper punches it out and got under it. Danger's not yet averted. Neal with a strike. And that was a telling touch there from Lynch. And Vicky Neal fortunately done enough to get the goal there. But Megan Lynch, how she got onto that, I don't think she knows.
What stoppages, please? What stoppages?
And the question is now of what stoppages we're going to have. I mean that.
You step on more, you step on one more.
And so we are now into time added on at the end of the second half. And what's going to be added, I think it's down to Lou Saunders to be honest. But a corner here for MK Dons. Have we got a grandstand finish here? Ball headed in. Everyone appealing for the corner, not given. Laura Bright with the header. Fortunately got a deflection off it. But it's a goal kick to Crawley. It's definitely been an interesting 10 minutes, last 10 minutes of the game. We're into time added on at the end of this match. Crawley Wasps still hanging on, well, still maintaining that 1-0 lead. And of course, with absence of obviously a fourth official and the lovely neon subs boards, we can't be sure exactly how much more time will be added on by Lou Saunders. There's a throw in on the far side, gone Crawley's way. Throwing launched up, trying to pick out Aisha Swarby. And that did appear for me, maybe did that strike a hand. It seemed to hit the ground and bounced up into Aisha Swarby. Dons with a throw in, Kerry Newman will take it. Dons are pushing players forward now. Now Vicky Neal will return to Newman.
Go Kerry again.
Callan's off with that, another throw in, quickly taken by Newman, this time to Gould. Trisha Gould now, chipping the ball into the penalty area, it's run loose, it's headed clear.
No foul.
And now the ball bouncing up, and now the game being stopped now for
Get the ball, Vic, get the ball.
for a foul on Naomi Cole, and we are now into a stoppage time at the end of the second half. Can't clarify exactly how much more we're going to have, but once again, big thank you for those of you listening in this afternoon.
Stay aggressive with the check, stay aggressive, stay aggressive, stay aggressive.
And of course, those of you tuning in on the live stream, and the ball goes deep and wide out on the right hand side, and I think one of the members of the coaching team just delivered that ball in and he just pulled up. I don't think he did a big enough warm up there. I think he's hurt himself, to be honest. And a few guys said I think he's going to hide in the dugout. There's no hiding from the commentator. When you spot that, these things go on air. But being a bit of light-heartedness to what has been a bit of a serious afternoon, to be honest. But here's Newman. Bell, with both arms held aloft again, is screaming for the ball, which has got enough space to drive a squadron of tanks through, let alone a Sherman. And still the ball doesn't get to her. Things is getting a little bit heated on that far side. And Jay Bell just left very frustrated.
How long? Fine, how long? 2.
Apparently, whoever's now shouting 2 minutes, both management team shouting 2, so we'll probably, so it will be eventually, if we do get another 2 minutes, it'll be nearly 5 minutes added on at the end of this second half.
Be careful! Be careful!
There's Swarby going into the corner. That's time management, and that's what any side would do, maintaining a 1-0 lead. But Don's clear the ball. Now Gould finds it to Albert midway through Don's half. Albert closing into the centre here. Pass is taken out of the ball played. Advantage had been played initially. Where Shez Albert, I think, is saying couldn't we have advantage, but was brought down. The play just being brought back to where that initial challenge happened. And Amy Martin's going to take this. Don's pushing everyone up now, or everyone they can. Joel Pepper is staying here. And now it's like a game of play your cards, right? I'm hearing Charlie Bill shout higher, higher, higher. But here's everyone is being pushed forward in an attack here. Martin's free kick goes into the penalty area. Gould tries to get it, it's cleared. And now the ball brought back in. And Kerry Newman hanging on to that Toulon. And that is the full-time whistle. And it's all over here at the new defence. It's finished Crawley Wasps ladies 1, MK Dons women 0. And in the game, they say, oh, they're shadowed by the injury to Molly Cooper, that then necessitated a nigh on hour break or an hour interval before play could resume. But that's again just a one goal coming on 7 minutes through Nicola Gibson. And so it means that Crawley Wasps maintain their impressive home record of 3 wins from 3. So that takes them up to 9 points. And so Don's still rooted into a last 2. And that's really all we've got time for this afternoon. Just leaves me to say once again, thank you to everyone who's been watching on the live stream. Thanks to Jack, our cameraman, and the crew back at Techie Towers for helping this go as well. Thank you to everyone at Hawley Town and Crawley Wasps for allowing us here in the first place. And that just leaves me to say thank you for listening and watching. And from everyone here at the New Defence, and for me, Chris Walker, your commentator this afternoon, very good afternoon from us. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Until the next time any of us meet, or you get back watching the footy or listening, bye-bye for now, bye-bye for me. Ta-da!